the Canon 7D Mark II, the Nikon D500. Which is better? Is there really one that's better than the other? Don't really think so. So here's what it gets down to. Are you ready? If you're a bird photographer, Canon does not offer us an affordable 500mm lens, whereas Nikon have two, the 200 to 500 and the 500 PF. Both these 500mm lenses are hand holdable and are super sharp. The longest affordable Canon zoom lens for bird and wildlife photography is the Canon 100 to 400 IS2 lens, which is a fantastic lens. It just does not go all the way up to 500mm, which is extremely crucial for bird photography. Still, there are a couple of other points that I wish to talk about. First, I want to thank you for watching my previous video and writing a comment. Comments are a realistic guideline for me to know what information you found valuable and what information I need to further clarify in future videos. I hope you take the time to leave a comment at the end of this video. I have used both these cameras extensively and clicked over 500,000 images with each of these cameras. Let me assure you that both these cameras are relevant for bird and wildlife photography, even in a world of mirrorless cameras. In fact, these cameras can do better than most entry-level mirrorless cameras when it comes to bird and wildlife photography. The Canon 7D Mark II has 65 focus points. All of them are cross-type. If you read the specs of the Nikon D500, they'll tell you that the camera has 153 focus points distributed all across the sensor, and that 99 of them are cross-type. While this information is correct, the sensor does have 153 focus points distributed on it. When clicking pictures of birds, or when clicking any picture, it's very important for us to be able to get the focus where we want it. So for example, when you're clicking birds and animals, we need the eyes to be extremely sharp. The same goes when we are clicking people. If the eye of the person is even slightly out of focus, the person seeing this picture will find it very hard to establish a connection with the subject. So to do this, we need to set our autofocus area to single point and maneuver that single point to the eye of the bird. Now on the D500, the moment we set our autofocus area to single point, we no longer have 153 points to choose from. We have only 55 focus points. So if you want to compare the D500 to the 7D Mark II as an equal, the 7D Mark II has 65 points, all cross-type. The D500 has 55 focus points that you can choose from. 35 of them are cross-type. And the points that fall along the rule of thirds on the D500 are not cross-type focus points. Another important thing to note is that the Canon 7D Mark II offers you a smaller focus area within the focus point for more accurate focusing. Both cameras have a burst speed of 10 frames per second, which is fantastic for wildlife photography and fantastic for cameras in this price range. The 7D Mark II has a buffer size of around 22 or 25 raw images. The D500 has a buffer size of 200 raw images. So you would imagine that when you're clicking on the burst mode, which I always am, and if you're photographing birds and wildlife, then you need to be on the burst mode too. When I'm on the burst mode on the D500, I find the camera slowing down after about 4 or 5 seconds. It slows down because it's now transferring the files from the camera's buffer onto the memory card. The 7D Mark II, even though it has only a capacity of 25 raw images, not once has the camera slowed down. You won't have this problem on the D500 if you're using the super fast and super expensive XQD card, but you will encounter this problem with an SD card. The Canon 7D Mark II has two card slots, one for SD and one for CF. It doesn't matter which type of cards you use, the camera won't slow down because the buffer is full. All other settings, such as autofocus speed, build quality, battery performance, are equal on both these cameras. At the end of the day, it gets down to what subjects you want to click the most and which lenses are available to you. In the description, I have links to my videos which takes you through all the camera settings on the 7D Mark II and the D500 that will help you to click super sharp images of birds and wildlife. These days I'm taking courses to become a facilitator of visual art therapy workshops. During the lockdown, I'd launched a 3-hour workshop called Develop Your Creative Eye Through Mobile Photography. In this workshop, participants became mindful of the things around them, the people around them, and the way light falls on these people, places, and learned how to photograph their lives in an aesthetic way. More recently, I've revived one of my childhood passions, that's drawing cartoons, and I draw a cartoon almost every day and post it on my Instagram page. The link to my Instagram page is in the description. I'm Girish Menon, and the best news that I have for you is that you can learn photography from me from anywhere in the world over live video calls. Please have a look at my website www.girishmenon.com to have a look at the workshops that I offer.